Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This channel is about business, marketing, and programming and personal growth. So my name is JC. Today I'm going to look at the another marketing law, the law of acceleration. So let's just study this law together, and then we can learn more about marketing. The law of acceleration. The law of acceleration says that successful programs are not built on fads, they are built on trends, drawing their examples from mainstream consumer products. The authors observe the tendency for companies to overestimate short-term fads. When something new becomes big and hot, companies jump on the bandwagon, spending a lot of money doing so. They restructure, they invest in new equipment, they work hard to make themselves prepared to deliver products for the fad. And then the fad stops, and the company is left with problems. What I'm going to do with all the olive green refrigerators and orange carpeting I bought just before the fashion changed? Oh, great! I can produce 50 gazillion Cabbage Patch dolls per day. That'll come in handy when now that nobody wants them anymore. Damn it, I just bought a warehouse of fruit-colored translucent plastic. And now I find that the next iMac looks like a white desk lamp. Fads accelerate very quickly, but often don't last long. Trends have a much slower acceleration, but eventually run fast and steady. Chasing fads is expensive, so it becomes very important to learn how to distinguish them from actual long-term trends. This discernment is particularly important for small ISVs. We are constantly being presented with new technologies, new protocols, new formats, new platforms, new components, and new APIs. Which ones will be strong in 5 years? We want to know if we will eventually regret building our apps on a given piece of technology. I'm not sure this issue has ever produced questions more difficult than the ones we're facing today, such as web applications. Is this a real long-term trend? Would it ever be possible to create rich apps with HTML? Will Microsoft succeed in using its control of the desktop to kill this trend? Web services. Is this fad going to become a trend or not? We loved web services because they were simple, but they are getting less simple all the time. Windows Forms. Microsoft wanted me to get off MFC and onto Windows Forms. Now they want me to get off Windows Forms and onto Avalon. Doesn't anybody have an available API which is not planned for deprecation? These may not seem like marketing decisions, but they are. Technology choices have big marketing implications. When you choose a platform, you define the maximum size of your market. I cannot answer the question above, but I can repeat one thing I've said before. The technologies from the previous wave still work. If you want to be an INETA speaker, yes, you need to be current with the very latest stuff. But if you are building products and solutions to be used today, there isn't any shame in choosing a platform and toolset which has completely proven itself as more than a fad. Okay, so that's the end of this blog post, and it's a good one. So I should say I've learned that the whatever is classic is actually good. The new and shiny stuff may not turn out to be everlasting. So there are technologies that just comes quick and then goes quick, but there are technologies that just come and stay. For example, web technologies, the web is here to stay. But in terms of, for example, flash drive or hard drive or those kind of hardware technology is changing quite fast. So it really depends on different technologies whether that technology itself would survive long term or not. So there is this kind of it needs experience, one's experience to figure that out, and then I think the best strategy is to stick with the long-term trend and don't jump on the bandwagon too quickly. For example, these days, there are a lot of JavaScript frameworks, and none of the frameworks will be the dominant framework for the foreseeable future. So instead of heavily investing yourself or your company's resources into any of the JavaScript platform, it's better to take a wait and see attitude and just use existing, mature, proven technologies before before there's an obvious trend that a certain JavaScript technology will be the dominant one going forward. So in this regard, I think Microsoft's strategy has been pretty good, because Microsoft has never been the number one in its category, and Microsoft has always been a follower, but somehow Microsoft figured out, and then Microsoft was able to beat the competitors and became the number one. And in China, the Tencent is another example. So Tencent didn't invent the instant messaging. It borrowed some software from Western country, maybe Israel or something, and then it just modified and improved upon that and became QQ. And now they have the WeChat. So all of these are kind of not the first to market. They're second or third to market, and then eventually they won the market. So these are all the good examples that as long as you keep moving forward, even if you're second or third, you can still beat the number one in its own game. So that's my thought for today, and I'll share more this kind of videos in the future.